Power issue.
Power issue?
I like them close.
Okay, I can get more.
Sweet. XLR to 8-inch. There are limited out options, so I need.
You might have one in the back there to check.
I'm just gonna, for picture purposes, we need this XLR out to go to this, to go to this.
Question. XLR out to
USB to 8 to USB.
okay.
Because all I can do right now is take the sound from Zoom and put it into the speaker.
Yeah.
And then we'll have people in the room using the mics, which will go into the speaker, which will hopefully make it loud enough in here for this mic for here. So as feedback. So we've kind of had it set up.
Okay.
I haven't had any trouble like hearing the presenter or anything else. I just kind of point my computer this direction and sound comes in here. And this mic's pretty great at picking stuff up.
Cool.
So if we wanted to mic the sound from the room into the computer, I have to have this line out.
Got it. Okay.
And this is a weird, like this is only for speakers. It doesn't fit anything else. I need this line out to go into my computer.
That's a.
Have you ever heard of the Black Magic designs?
No.
You might want to look into one for yourself, for 1 cups, for any of that. It basically takes something like this and then puts it into a USB. So it's got a little mini board.
Oh.
And it's meant to go into computers. And so you can plug in cameras to it. You can have dual cameras. You can do all kinds of like production
Black
stuff.
Yeah.
You can do it like, I've seen them online for like $200.
Okay.
You might be able to find it on Facebook Marketplace.
Yeah.
Everyone going back in person. A lot of people bought them for local broadcasting in their homes or for shows. But I might want to just do that, and then we never have to worry about all these cables again.
Yeah.
We just plug everything, mics,
Okay.
speakers, all that into that.
So the Black Magic would replace that XLR cable.
Yep.
And then I still need just a USB cable,
Mhm.
which I have. So.
Well, the Black Magic comes with one.
Okay.
The USB cable. So then we take everything we're doing here, plug in this camera into that, and the microphones into that, and anything else you really want into it. And that makes it simpler. It's like when I'm not here, I bring my computer because it has HDMI, USB, auxiliary, and
Yeah.
yours does not. So if you had the Black Magic thing, we plug everything into that like its own computer and then straight into yours.
Cool. Got it. Black Magic. And you don't have one?
I don't know.
Morning, guys.
Morning.
Morning.
How are you?
Standing yourself.
Can't complain for today's Wednesday.
Yeah. If you tell me it's not, I'll believe you.
There you go.
What's your name?
Thomas.
Thomas. Nick.
Nick, pleasure to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Courtney.
Courtney. Great to meet you as well.
How'd you hear about 1 Cups?
Yes, I work for Signature Bank's venture group, so was at Square One Bank for a long time.
Okay.
So I've always known about it, but now that COVID's kind of settling in a little bit out, and things are getting back and swing of things, I was like, I should go check this out.
Cool.
start trying to get out of here.
We've been to our events in the past.
I've been to one or two, but it's been a while. It's been a couple years.
No worries.
Yeah. Day job stuff is starting to slow down a little bit, so it's like, all right, let's get out of the office.
Day job, what's those?
Should I nerd out and put on a?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Oh, we're live, everyone. Test. All right, let's see if we can get moderate input. I like that. Work for you?
Yeah.
Sounds good in the audience.
Testing 7. In the back. all the
Sounds
way in
good,
the
sounds
back.
good.
Check 1, 2, 1, 2.
We have just torn that down.
Okay. Recording. Okay.
Literally cannot.
This is great.
Oh my God.
Working.
Any Star Trek references and I'm unplugging.
Okay, that's fine. I know, this is awesome. Hands free. I'm gonna touch your mic. All right, I'm gonna take myself off.
Yeah, it should not be that close to your mouth. Just
Take it off.
There we go.
So, okay, because you hear me breathing.
Yeah.
1, 2,
That's
hello.
better.
Okay.
Just supposed to amplify you ever so slightly. If
Um,
someone was hard of hearing, they shouldn't know that you're talking into the mic.
And
Meeting is being recorded, so anything you say can use will be against you.
bring it on.
That's to go down.
I turned mine off. Oh, yeah, good point. Yeah, good point, good point.
But this could cause a feedback.
So.
So yeah, it was good for him because I didn't. He got like that Elizabeth shoe look. Yeah.
Cool, I'll take that. Actually.
She doesn't do a lot of movies, but.
Yeah, there was like a random actress that similar to this. Usually the only person I get is Ally Sheedy.
Oh.
That Israeli girl from the breakfast. Yeah, that's fair. Okay. But the millennials are talking. No.
That was my dream.
I'm Maureen, by the way. I don't think I see you at other meetings. Yeah, that's my first. This is your first meeting? Oh. Yeah, that's actually.
It's looking into our phone.
All right, are you good to greet her?
Yeah, I'm gonna read it right now.
Okay.
It's in the, it's on.
What's your guys' start?
Yeah. David? Okay, that's what I thought. I was like, but I guess I never have seen you in real life. You do look kind of different in real life. Than on the computer. Similar but different.
Yeah, almost.
Marita, you there?
Yes, good morning.
Good morning. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Oh, you're going on.
All right, awesome. So I made you a co-host,
Okay.
so you should be all set to go.
All right.
Do you want to practice sharing your screen?
I can do that right now. Yes. That look good?
Awesome. And you pronounce it as Relumed, is that correct?
Yeah.
Awesome. Great. I wish you were here. We can interact a little bit more, but I'm glad you're presenting either way.
I know. I wish I was in Denver right now too. That would be lovely.
You're in Oakland? I thought you were in Minnesota. Did I
No, I'm
misread
in
that?
Wisconsin.
Wisconsin. Okay.
Yep, I'm in Madison, Wisconsin.
Oh, Oakland is your part of your last name.
Yes. Yes.
I thought you were saying that's where you're from. Got it.
No, I've confused a few people on that though.
You have a lot of words happening on the bottom.
I do. I wish I could get it all the way across the screen, but I can't quite yet. So I'll figure out a few more things to add.
Maybe like your zodiac sign and your Myers-Briggs results.
Yep,
and
and Enneagram number, just throw it all on there.
your blood type, all those things.
For
okay?
sure.
Awesome.
Yep.
Well, I'm gonna disconnect and kind of mingle around the room, but
Okay.
any other questions? You good to go?
I think I'm good to go. Thank you.
Cool. In terms of time, you're the only presenter. So
Okay.
if you go over like 6 minutes, that's fine. Just don't go over like, if you're like running long, like 8 or 9, I might like wave on the camera, like over here.
Okay.
I don't know if you can see my hand.
I think it's possible I'll go like 6.5 minutes, but
That's
I've
fine.
got a pretty tight presentation and I've done this a couple times now. So
Sweet.
I'll be good.
The more dialogue, the better we have.
Yeah,
So
I
I'm
love
gonna
that.
get to it. Cool. All right. We'll talk in a little bit.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Bye.
Okay.
So,
Welcome to the future.
I want to leave.
Hi. Oh, that's cool.
You're Gwen Stefani. Gwen Stefani, Mike. That's it. I'm calling you Gwen.
Winnie.
Why did Gwen started this?
Because it probably came out maybe.
Good morning, this is check one, check two. Corey, you can hit it.
Hit the video?
Hit the video.
Okay.
Every year that in the cities, there's a clinic to achieve students happening across the country. What I've learned from other entrepreneurs is very, very valuable. Literally, how to get to help you believe what you know, what you did, we work, we get this on the town, still in the
Awesome, that works. Well, welcome. My name is Nick Nickner. Here it is. Just to let you guys know, you guys are all potheads. Cool. Well, welcome to 1 Million Cups. We're here to solve 3 different problems. The first problem is entrepreneurs need feedback on their startups. Second problem is entrepreneurs need a place to practice presenting. The third problem is entrepreneurs need a place to meet other entrepreneurs. And the solution is 1 Million Cups. We meet here every Wednesday at Green Spaces. Sorry, at Enterprise Co-working. It's in my brain right now. Let me erase it. But every Wednesday, 9 a.m., free coffee. If you are drinking coffee, make sure you're drinking it from the table that's right behind this wall. We do 6-minute presentations followed by 15 to 20 minutes of constructive audience feedback. Ideal use cases for presenters, we're looking for presenters that have an idea, a product, or a startup. Ideally, they're in their teen stage, so they're not too old or not too young. And it's a great place for presenters to practice their presentation skills. And most importantly, they're looking and will receive feedback. And from 1 Million Cups, the impacts that we're giving these entrepreneurs is they get to be open and transparent. Entrepreneurs get feedback to improve their startups, and entrepreneurs build meaningful connections. So who does all of this? Myself, Courtney, Allie, she's coming a little bit, Gregarious, Joseph. We also have Josh, who's not here. We're always looking for more people to help out. It can be you or this person here in the future. Shout out to our sponsors. We're here at, this is really awkward, this is delay between my slides and here, I apologize. Enterprise Co-working, where we're at, the Perk Coffee, this is what you're drinking. Founders Craft, MPB for founders, joining the crowd, Photo Media, and the comments on channel. Let's give them a big round of applause. Clap, clap, clap. Now I'd like to see who in the room here is new to 1 Million Cups today. 3 people, awesome. And who in the room considers themselves an entrepreneur? Everyone, awesome. Now I'd like to get a feel for who's in the room as well. Looking for some volunteers just to say name, what you do, why you're here, anything else you'd like to share. If anyone wants to volunteer, if not, I'm just going to pick on people. Anybody want to share?
So I'm Thomas Denner. I work for Signature Bank. We run the venture banking team, so I cover basically funding startups across the Rockies and various states. So I think Montana to New Mexico, Arizona. So just here to see what we can help out.
Cool. Hey, David. Who's next? Go ahead.
My name is Maureen Maloney. I'm the owner of Wild Air Films, and I'm a documentary producer and cinematographer.
Okay. Who else? Go ahead.
Well, I'm Daryl, or I go by D. Schaefer. We have a consulting, data science, and e-commerce consulting group that moved into the building here. So I come down and check it out today. Our company is called Google Gravity.
Well, thanks, Steve. Anyone else want to say hi? Go ahead.
Yeah, my name is Kaylin. I work for a tech startup here in Denver called Goldie. We provide software for kids with special needs. I'm mostly just here to learn. Just starting somewhere, right?
How'd you hear about 1 Million Cups?
We work here at Enterprise Co-working. Yes.
And how'd you guys hear about it? And
through Enterprise, the Slack channel,
Yes,
email,
Slack channel.
Slack channel.
And then they have their.
Cool. Was it my message this morning?
No, I knew the email, but I did see your message. So.
Sweet, okay. I'm new to the space as well, so I was just trying to see how people hear about information
Yeah.
as well. Cool. Anyone else? Last call? Awesome. We'll keep on trucking. Just to let you guys know, we have a website, 1millioncups.com, 1millioncups.com. Just Denver, I'll get there today. I know. I'm very interested in presenting. Go to our website, fill out a quick application. We also send out weekly newsletters. So if you want to present each week, follow us on the website. Before we get to our presenter, just let you know that they're here for your feedback. So while they're presenting, think of at least one thing that you can give feedback on or a question you can have. The more dialogue we have during this event, the better it is. And if you can, please limit yourself to one piece of feedback or question at a time. If you have more, I'll come back to you later on. And also, when you do give feedback, if you could see your name as well, that'd be great. Haven't done it in the past, I think we should do that. Moving on to our presenter, Relumed. Relumed is a visual facilitation, and training agency dedicated to moving visual thinking up the decision-making ladder in business. Visual thinking is used of drawing to capture, process, and communicate information clearly. Let's give a big round of applause to Marita. She's on Zoom out in Wisconsin, Madison.
Yeah. All right. Good morning, everyone. We'll see how this hybrid presentation goes. I'm really looking forward to being with you today and wish I was in Denver, but I am currently in Madison, Wisconsin. So as was mentioned by Nick, my name is Marita Herkert Oakland, and I'm the co-founder of Relumed. We are a training and facilitation agency dedicated to moving visual thinking up the decision-making ladder in business. As I tell you about what we do today, I'm going to be looking for feedback on our messaging and strategy as we're getting ready to launch a course, some feedback on scaling our facilitation services, and ways to be really clearly showing what it is that we do. So in our work, we often facilitate conversations to learn a founder's story. We start with 3 questions: why this, why you, and why now? So I'm going to use those questions to frame our conversation today. First, why this? In the last decade or more, we've seen the emergence of thought leaders like Simon Sinek, Brené Brown, and Adam Grant, teaching us how to build people-first, purpose-driven organizations full of visionary growth and innovation. Many entrepreneurs and leaders that we work with understand these philosophies, but these new ways of doing business require new skills. One skill that can bridge the gap between the way that we work now and the way that we want to work is visual thinking, or the use of drawing to capture, process, or communicate ideas and information quickly, often in real time. Rather than starting with tools like the business model canvas or OKRs for vision and strategy conversations, visual thinking shifts the way that people sort through information so that they're able to make better decisions faster. Relumed brings visual thinking to business through 2 main services. We can train their leaders and teams to use visual thinking in their everyday work, or they can have it tomorrow through facilitated conversations. In order to move visual thinking up the decision-making ladder in business, we teach visual thinking skills through live trainings and online courses. We train leaders and teams in these basic visual skills. We teach them to adapt the skills to various situations, and we share how to use the right tools to capture information clearly. These skills can help organizations communicate better and really lead with purpose. And visual facilitation, or facilitated conversations supported by live drawing, like you're seeing in this little clip here, brings experienced facilitators into organizations to explore vision, strategy, process, and innovation. Facilitation creates space for all participants in a conversation to be heard, which builds on the new ways of doing business. Facilitated sessions might be for client discovery sessions, quarterly goals meetings, process conversations, and more. The live drawing piece is a compelling tool to focus a conversation and uncover assumptions and connections. We work with visuals because studies show that 80% of what we learn is visual, and you're 3 times more likely to remember something that you've seen than something that you've only read. So get out your pen and paper and start drawing some notes. So now my second question, why you? Well, I co-founded Relumed with my partner in life and in business, Eric Oakland. Eric is the creative mind behind TrueScribe, which is a whiteboard video company, and Squiggle, which is video software that uses AI to turn text into whiteboard style video. And I bring my background in social work to facilitate systems level, curious, compassionate conversations with leaders. We are building Relumed because we understand the power of visuals and we have the skills to teach leaders new ways to effectively bring them into their organization. We are developing partnerships with other facilitators and other creatives to begin to scale our services. We are a creative, experienced, and formidable team. And for the final question, why now? Well, in a recent survey from Predictive Index, 96% of CEOs surveyed indicated that they shifted the strategic direction of their company in 2020. You can probably guess why. The uncertainty, the upheaval, and the need to pivot throughout the pandemic while still needing to build strong, focused teams have made this a time of great opportunity and great challenge for leaders. The tools, support, and skills that we provide can help organizations through times like this and beyond. Also, everything that we offer can be done virtually. Our facilitated sessions and our live trainings are all done via Zoom, and they create a new kind of virtual experience. So now that you have an understanding of why this, why you, why now, let me explain a little bit about where we fit in the market and our plans for growth. We are not the first to bring visuals to business. There's actually a global community of visual thinkers, many of them based outside of the United States, who offer regular trainings and courses to similar audiences. And Relumed overlaps with the e-learning, consulting, and facilitation industries, where there's established trends of business investment. But our unique approach to teaching and modeling visual thinking helps us to stand out from this small group who's already doing this. Rather than training people to become professional visual thinkers, which is actually a thing, we focus on building the skills in your team so that you can do your job better and that anyone can lead with visual thinking. We don't care about your level of artistic talent because that's not the point. We live in the mess and we find that the most important connections are drawn there. Our current business model, as we're establishing our proof of concept, is that we're directly providing the services that we offer. Our clients are paying an average of $5,000 for facilitation services, and we offer packages of sessions. Our trainings and courses are about priced between $200 and $500 a person. But we would like to move towards an agency style model where we're building a team of trainers and facilitators who use our methodologies. We are in year 1 of Relumed. In 5 years, we envision a world where visual thinking is a skill that leaders use to lead with why, to practice vulnerability, and to rethink their assumptions, and that the Relumed frameworks are used to inform common business tools like OKRs or the business model canvas. So here's my asks today for our conversation. First, we have 2 distinct services that I've outlined. We have our training services and our facilitation sessions. We've decided to focus on scaling and marketing on the training side. So what should we consider as we pursue this? The next thing is that we're looking to build our facilitation services through partnerships with consultants and service-based companies. So what feedback or what information do you want on that strategy? And the last thing is, we often hear you need to see this to understand it. So what would you like to see to better understand visual thinking, training, and facilitation? Thank you for your time, and I'm looking forward to our conversation.
All right, let's give a big round of applause. Leave your slide up on your ass. That's really helpful.
Now we're going to do feedback and questions. I have a microphone, so you can hear the questions. If you don't want to use a microphone, let me know those repeat questions as well. So who has feedback or question?
All the questions have been answered in 6 minutes. It's amazing.
All right, go ahead. Sure.
So great presentation, and you presented really well on video. Your background was awesome. I dig your lighting, the whole bit.
Thank
You
you.
spoke really clearly. The part that I didn't get was how the actual platform worked. That didn't come across to me. I learned a lot about the company and, you know, your goals, but I didn't see how the product worked.
Great question. So the platform, really right now, it's the services that we're delivering. So we're delivering most of our services on Zoom. And when we do our facilitated conversations, we are doing a Zoom shared screen of live drawing. So it might be a shared whiteboard, like Miro, if we're doing a collaborative conversation. It might be that we're sharing live drawing through an app like Procreate when we just have a visualizer drawing. It all depends on the type of conversation that we're having, but it is a very interactive experience. We are launching our courses through Teachable right now and doing our live trainings again through Zoom.
All right, let's see that question.
Echoing I thought the presentation was really great, all that. I guess one thing I have is, you see the role of this plugin that might be used by professionals. I don't know. With whiteboard things, through Zoom, I mean, that would be.
I am having a really hard time understanding through the microphone right now. I apologize.
We got this way back.
All right, let's try this again. Can you hear me?
Okay.
Yes, all right, great. So my question is, have you thought about creating a Zoom plugin or integration where this could be used in a more professional setting where people can use this technology to whiteboard between, basically replicate the experience of sitting in a conference room like this?
Okay, could you type, I'm so sorry. Could you type some of the question into the chat or repeat it somehow? I'm sorry, it's not coming through easily right now.
You can hear me though?
I was hearing you okay. Everything's a little muffled, so I'm doing my best.
We need to get closer to the bigger.
We can try. I mean, this is trying out a Zoom presenter, so it may take a little longer. We don't have a lot of mic options, so really the best option is just for us to amplify it on this side. We're trying our best.
No, I absolutely.
His question was, have you considered creating a Zoom plugin so this could be used in a more professional environment?
So we haven't created technology around this yet. It's really just we're service providers at this point. I would love to explore the idea of what creating technology around it would look like, and then building that in. But there are Zoom plugins for things like Miro, which is the online whiteboard, a collaborative whiteboard. So that's our preferred collaborative platform. We also use Google Jamboard for some simpler conversations that are a little bit more interactive. So there's a few ways that we're doing that, but I appreciate that feedback. Hey, Courtney, your audio is coming through great. I'm assuming that you're close to the computer there.
Yep.
Okay.
Courtney, do you want us just to?
Well, we're either gonna have to come up and talk into the computer, or I can repeat the questions.
Yeah, can you just repeat?
Yeah.
Awesome. All right, we'll just have Courtney repeat the question. Go ahead, Maria.
Go ahead, just
go ahead.
Oh, just
say it.
here.
Yeah,
Okay,
just-
so also I can speak really well.
Oh, all right.
So there's lots of books and resources out there to learn about efficient brainstorming and idea development. And this might go to your point of when people say they can't envision it. I guess I kind of feel like I would be hiring somebody to teach me how to doodle, brainstorm, and I don't really understand. I guess I'm not feeling like the enthusiasm for that. You know what I mean? Like I don't really understand how that's going to help me in my business.
That is a really good point. So also your audio came back great. So my apologies for what I'm able to hear and not hear. In terms of what you are looking at with visual thinking, we have put together a framework that we call the VAST system. luckily has 4 components to it to align with VAST. V is for visual, and that's only one piece of what we're offering here. In terms of visual thinking, using that drawing to process information is a great skill. And some people want to be able to, you know, actually be up there performing with visuals and really showing that, you know, getting up on the whiteboard in front of an audience, even in front of, like, for a keynote speech. Those are great skills to have. It's only one small piece. The next part is the adaptive. When you are able to put together a visual framework for a conversation, you are seeing things in different ways. Things like mind maps. We've got a couple of different types of frameworks of filtering information that we teach. And there's a lot out there that people are able to do. That's taking information and visualizing it in a way that a group is going to see things differently. When we facilitate conversations, we aren't just making a list of what we're doing or just drawing cool icons. We are sorting and organizing information in a way that people can see, like, oh, that's a connection that I didn't understand before. We will use visuals and, like, cool icons to support a key idea or a key theme, but seeing the connections and how all these ideas fit on a page is way more important and way more impactful when you are thinking strategy or visioning for your company and your organization. The next piece of it is how do you share information? How do you communicate information? Often when we are, you know, we find ourselves in meetings and in conversations where people, you know, we'll walk away and think, like, everyone's totally on the same page. We all shared this information, we all get it. And then we're starting to go back to work and make some progress on it. And it turns out we're not quite on the same page. Visuals are a way of bringing that information to the surface and being able to see it so that we can all agree, yes, this is where we're going with things. And it's an added layer of confirmation and a way of communicating. The last one is tools, is how do I do this? How do I use Miro to collaborate when we're all virtual? How do I use, you know, our whiteboard to actually make sense of things and use it to go forward? So we've got some that are a little bit more technical and some that are more the way that you're processing thoughts and ideas to actually make a difference within your company.
So did we see an example of that in your presentation? Is that how you built your presentation? So is that what we were seeing?
Yeah, so that little bit that we just had a loop going for a little bit, that was a little piece of a live drawing conversation. And so what we're doing is we start with a blank screen on Zoom or wherever we're doing this, and we're filtering that and putting that together in real time. And it does look like that little bit that we showed.
You don't mind, because you wanted our feedback because you're presenting soon, right? Or what do you have coming up?
Can you
What we're
clarify?
looking for feedback on?
Yeah, so the next thing that we're trying to do is launch this course around visual thinking. And I think to the point, and so we would love to have some feedback around what is interesting to you, where is pushback around this, how do we kind of position this and do some messaging around it? We're, you know, in the presentation just now and in what we often find ourselves talking about is, like, visual thinking as the thing, but that's not the outcome that we're looking for. To your point, to the question a minute ago, you know, we're not looking to teach people how to doodle better. That would be fun, but it's not impactful. So what messaging or what would resonate for you to say, like, that would help me make a change in the way that my team communicates or wherever we go with this?
I think Joe's point is that we didn't see how it works in your presentation, except for that little looping snippet. That would have been the only moment where we got to see it. Is that right? Yeah. And he's trying to give you feedback on, like, if you're about to present, that's the missing piece from him.
Yep. Okay.
Sarah, my name is Sarah. Hi, I liked your presentation. I also, just to piggyback on that, it was unclear to me who your target customer is and who you're really trying to sell to. So, and I think that's part of what you're asking us is, like, how are you going to connect with consulting companies and, like, how do you grow this, right? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah.
Is that
that was unclear to me. I mean, I don't know if that's true for others, but maybe getting a little more clear of this is who we aim to help, and this is exactly how we're going to help you. This is how you can implement it into your workspace, into your, client engagement. Anyway, those are some of your thoughts.
I'd like to add to Sarah, I would like to hear more about different use cases for your tool. I get an idea of how you might be helping different companies in different situations. So if you presented more use cases for your product, that would be helpful to understand what problems you're solving.
Yeah. Both of those are excellent points. On the target audience side, I am actually a fairly data-driven person. So Eric, my partner, and I complement each other nicely, that he is the creative force behind things, and I am the one that can't wait to get things into spreadsheets and analyze it and figure out what's what. I don't feel like we have enough data right now to really hone in on our target market. And I know that is a weakness that we have. The facilitation services that we've done, to go to some case studies, have really been a wide range of types of clients. We work regularly with an entrepreneurial group here in Madison as part of their accelerator. They, at the beginning of their accelerator program for women-owned businesses, we facilitate sessions to help put their vision out on paper, to see where is this going? Where are you feeling stuck? Where are you trying to really make some progress with what you're doing? And what's just that whole big swirl that's going on in your head? So we are part of an accelerator program there. We also work with a management consultant as part of every time they onboard a new client, they do a session with us to kind of uncover everything that client is looking for. And so that the consultant can see like, okay, I understand that thoroughly. I'm ready to start this engagement. So that's a very different type of use. And then, on the other side of things, we work directly with an organization really regularly, drawing out their processes. They're trying to figure out how to refine some of their processes as they're scaling. And so we facilitate those conversations and draw out exactly what's going on with a billing process or something like that. So those are very different at this point. And we're trying to kind of let some of that happen organically as we hone in. What the thing that ties that together is it's leadership. It's how do teams function together. And so we're trying to build the messaging more around leaders and teams before we get industry specific or niche down too much. That's mostly on the facilitation side. On the training side and on the, we're really starting to target leaders and CEO level folks, mostly because if we're trying to convince people that visual thinking is important, you need to have buy-in from the top. You need to kind of help bring those skills in. And then we can start training the rest of the staff if that's something that an organization is looking for. We're really in the conceptual phases of that, and we're trying to test that out. So I hope that answered two questions at once. But
With David and
Thomas,
sorry. Wait.
So I'm trying to say, so we've been able to kind of suss it out through the continued conversation, but through the presentation, it was not exactly clear if we were offering kind of a course on how to apply visual thinking, or were you designing a product that wanted to do applications and something like that. And then the second to that is, are you having to participate in sessions with executives and teams to essentially do the drawing for them? Or is this something that you're anticipating that they'll be able to adopt?
all right, I think I heard most of the first part of that, but can you repeat the questions or the questions for me? Up by the mic.
Yeah.
Okay, so the first piece was really understanding that this is a product, or was it more of a course? And then the second piece, okay, so that we've been able to figure that out through the conversation, but trying to help make that clear from the onset would be helpful to frame it. But then the other piece is, as you're applying these doodles and you're getting people up to speed, are you joining them in on their conversations and meetings and live sketching this for them to help illustrate this? Or is this something where you're teaching it and saying, go forth and doodle?
Good question. Okay, so on the courses, Yes, I did not include very much about that. I have actually been doing this presentation in several places, and so it's been over the course of a few months. Our course is getting ready to launch at the end of this week. I did not update that well enough, so my apologies, and I'm going to get that in there more clearly. In terms of how we are doing or how we're supporting folks in teaching them, we currently have the online course that is launching on Friday. And we are offering office hours. So people can join in with Eric and they can kind of practice their visual skills. So we're not joining them in that session or with their actual work, but we're allowing them space to practice with him and get some immediate feedback on that.
Hi, Ashley.
Ashley.
Yeah, can you hear me from right here?
Mostly, yep. We'll see if I can follow all the way through.
I was just wondering if there was a way in your presentation that you could do a case study and say, you know, in a regular meeting, here's how this would happen, but using our platform, here's how it would look, so they could see like, oh wow, that does make it much easier to understand or to visualize, so that it would be more of like a real hands-on way of seeing that. And I don't know if you do it in that short of time, but
yeah, I think that's a fantastic idea. We've toyed with the idea of live drawing the entire presentation. We're just not quite brave enough for it yet to line up exactly with what we want to say. But I'm hearing that giving that case study and giving a little bit more specific examples is a really important and helpful thing. So thank you for that.
Awesome, great feedback. Steve?
So Rita, first of all, I thought your presentation was just excellent. You're a great presenter. So thanks for that. But I think the core issue that a bunch of people have commented on is that people don't understand exactly what it is and sort of how it benefits them completely from the presentation. And I happen to be one of the 3 partners in a consulting group. So just an idea for you is, I think this is the kind of thing where someone has to believe in it, and someone at the very top of the organization has to be sort of a sponsor of this idea. So if you were to come to our consulting group and my 3 partners and say, we're going to facilitate your planning session for, you know, we do 1 day a quarter, then if we saw it and bought into it, then maybe we could become an advocate for you guys. So changing your ask to being more like, try this with us, try a day, try a couple hours with Eric, and do it for less than that 5,000. You might begin to create advocates. And I think that's what you need is advocates.
I love that. So one of the things that we do offer, not as personalized as that, is we offer a monthly free visual thinking roundtable. So we just invite people to come and experience what that facilitation feels like and what the live drawing feels like, and facilitate a conversation around different aspects of visual thinking. So that's kind of our try and reach a bunch of people. In terms of like getting direct advocates, absolutely. We love being able to do like a demo session with people who are interested in kind of partnering in different ways. And we are happy to offer that and to kind of give you a real sense of what that feels like and use some of our processes that we've developed. So give me a call. Let's set something up.
We talked before.
Yep, I met you last week.
So just to, you know, kind of echo off of everybody else's, with the, like so when we were talking about a use case and you said you toyed with the idea of doodling the whole presentation, I think you're kind of missing our point there, where it would be really great to see a very concrete example where this has actually worked. And like, you love data, so like including data in that. So before this, they were spending this much time aligning on these and these things in their company,
And after we worked with them, they saved this exact percentage of time and they were able to launch this many more products in this much time, or whatever it is that they're trying to do. I think that would be really helpful also in, like, if you're going directly to a CEO or executive level to get that buy-in, that's exactly what they're gonna need, is that concrete like data on, well, okay, if we do this, we'll save this much time and that equates to this much money in our organization. So not just showing what it is, but showing the effects and the results that it can get. So
Absolutely. I think that's a really important thing. There's some pieces of this that become, you know, how teams function, and it's a little bit less tangible of that concrete, you know, tie this to dollars. But there's also, like, some of the feedback that we do get from clients is we're often able to get to where we need to go faster. So if this would have taken, you know, 3 months worth of team meetings to get through all of this, we're able to do it in a 2-hour session. So it's often accelerating the visioning process, and it's helping them make better decisions. But I love getting that more concrete. And we're certainly working on more actual data, and even just data around the cost of unproductive meetings, the cost of missed opportunities like that. So thank you.
So we got 2 more questions and feedback, so we're gonna go back here. What's your name?
Dan?
Dan.
Yes.
We have a little exercise right now.
Yeah, right, it's good. So yeah, definitely echo, great presentation. A couple of points that I would hone in on that you touched on briefly was, I'm a big proponent of mind mapping. I'm very visual that way myself.
Great.
But capturing, to hear voices heard, because we've been in those meetings where voices get steamrolled, or then we go and move on to something else and we don't capture it. So I think a real advantage of this, from what I'm seeing, and trying to portray that to people that are trying to understand what it is you're capturing, when you're brainstorming, you're capturing different things in different parts. That's part of the visual part, because when we're speaking, you know, we forget what we just talked about a minute ago, because we're going in a whole different direction. Where this, you're capturing it, and so you can come back around to it. So, you know, you can put it there, yeah, we'll get to that in a few minutes. Let's work this one for a little while. Now it's already written down, so we don't forget it. We come back to it, which happens when we're having a conversation. Sometimes we lose that. So I think a really key part of this would be that you're capturing all of this. We're not losing stuff, and people are having their voice heard. Would be a couple of points I'd want to have you hone in on. I think it would help. So anyway, thanks.
I love that feedback. Yes. Sometimes we refer to what Eric is doing when he is doing the live drawing as visual listening, that we are capturing what everyone is saying. And there are, you know, my role as facilitator is to make sure that we're pulling in all those voices and giving them a chance to talk if that's something that they're ready for. The other piece of this is that it's a way of offloading what's in your brain. And that's a similar thing to what you just mentioned, that I have all of this going on. I don't know where we need to focus it. If I know that we've captured it, I can take a deep breath. I can focus on that really important piece that I'm, you know, trying to get across, but it's just not working. So absolutely. Thank you.
Right here.
I don't mean to harp on it, and I like providing solutions instead of just complaints. So a friend of mine, she owns My Doma, and I can send you the link for it. She's got a whiteboard, a little commercial that she runs, and it says, this is the story of 2 Marys. Mary number 1 is doing her job this way, and this is the troubles that she has, and oh, how horrible this is. Here's the story of Mary number 2, if she uses My Doma. And this is how it works, blah, 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 blah. And this is how great it is for Mary number 2. And that tells a clear, I mean, we've touched on kind of using a use case. We've touched on data. That would have clearly showed us, oh, wow, that's how this works. And then everything else would have been pitch and letting us know what you wanted from us, or an investor or a client. So the 30-second video, like, hammers home the benefit. So just a suggestion, I can send you a link through the contacts to her little whiteboard thing, but that really helps out in clearing up all the questions. So.
That's a great way of framing it. Thank you for that.
Thank you. And then last one is going to go to Courtney.
Oh boy.
Courtney, feedback.
Yes, so I think just generally, everyone has done a great job of giving general feedback. I do feel like you have two different products, which you clearly stated. But I think that your needs and your whys and your whats are more different than you may have initially imagined. I can tell that you're very good at and very talented at the facilitation, and that's where your passion is, and you know why people want it and what it does for them. And I don't doubt that you can teach that type of a skill to others because anything can be taught. But I would recommend cleaning the whiteboard, to use all of our famous analogies here, and starting over with why would someone want to be trained to do this? Because the type of people who want to hire you to come in and draw while they talk are very different than the people who want to learn how to communicate better. You're going to get male versus female, you're going to get alpha versus beta, you're going to get all different kinds of types, and just their driving emotional decision-making force is going to be vastly different. So I wouldn't present them side by side possibly ever again, but if you do, make sure that you know what you're catering to, because as you know, we're a test audience, we can be either one, but if you pick one, I think that you'll get more clarity and better feedback.
That is really helpful to hear. I think we know that intuitively. When I really appreciate hearing the like very clear, keep it separate, because you're right, it is different audiences. In general, the people that would be interested in facilitation are not those that want to learn how to facilitate or how to be visual thinkers. So thank you. Yeah.
All right, with that being said, let's give Maria a round of applause. I thought the feedback was helpful. Did you feel the same or is it right?
That was great. Thank you all.
Awesome. Let me switch to myself, the presentation. Oh, one other question for you. I apologize. What is a community can we do for you?
If you are able to connect with me and give me even your personal preference on visual thinking or what we were talking about, I would love to hear that. And if it's at all interesting to you, I would love to see people join our free roundtables that we have and keep this conversation going.
Awesome. All her information is on our website, so if you go to womancut.com/Denver, you can find all there as well. Now we're going to move on to some community announcements. Anybody have any events they are attending this week or next week you want to share? Anything that's going on? Or various? Go ahead.
I am interviewing Mr. Wonderful tomorrow on Clubhouse. So if you want to come ask questions, by all means, come raise your hand. It's at 4 p.m. We're talking about pitching and coaching and stuff like that.
How will they find the Clubhouse room?
Good question. If you find me on LinkedIn, I just share a link to it.
Okay.
So that's part of the stuff.
All right, so find where areas on LinkedIn. And I'm LinkedIn, so if you like to meet, you can find it. Cool. Go ahead, Joe.
So starting October
Monday.
Next Monday, is it
Yeah,
Monday?
yeah.
Okay, so starting Monday, I'm doing a 3-week workshop. So next week is Pitch Decks 101 at the Candy Factory. Then the following week, we've got When Should You Seek Funding? And then the third week is Finding the Right Angel Investor. So we'll be doing a workshop and working together on creating a pitch deck. The second week, When to Seek Funding. And I'm doing it in that order because if you go get in front of an investor and you don't have a pitch deck, you probably aren't going to present well. If you get there too early, you haven't raised friends and family money, and you're not pre-funded, and there's no proof of your thing yet, you may ruin your opportunity with that investor. So anyhow, I'm hosting workshops that start next Monday at the Candy Factory. I'm also setting up workshops at other co-working spots throughout the city on different topics. So follow my Join a Crowd business page on Facebook, and you can keep up to date on the events.
Awesome. Anyone else? Go ahead, please.
Just a plug that next week is Denver Startup Week. So,
You can do
yeah, all right.
Go, you take it, go take it.
I don't know. That's about all I got. It's like, go to their website, sign up for stuff. There's a lot of cool things going on.
Does anybody not know what Denver Startup Week is? It's a week-long event for entrepreneurs and startups.
Usually it's in person here in Denver, usually 20,000 people show up to it. It's a pretty awesome event with COVID thing. So most of it's virtual. So there's panels every day, and then there's some in-person events. Like we're having our event next week, teams with Denver Startup Week. There's other many events in person, but during the day there's a lot of different events towards sales, marketing, growth, products, anything to help an entrepreneur. So go to Denver Startup Week and you can see the schedule. So, go ahead, Sarah.
I'll also say we're part of Denver Startup Week. We're as part of the pitch competition. They do a big pitch competition essentially. And we're from Lunar SC, so we would love your vote. But also, there are really amazing resources all throughout the week, and there are two in particular that we're part of. We're hosting one on Monday, which is our top do's and don'ts on taking an idea to market in terms of product manufacturing. And then we're also partnering with our branding team on Tuesday and doing a branding session there. So, but there's just endless amazing resources.
Too many choices.
Yeah, too many.
Did I see another hand somewhere?
My question was just about the Denver Startup Week.
Yeah.
So the virtual events, are they going to be streamed anywhere here locally now? Or I don't know.
Don't know.
Okay.
Great question.
I looked up on their website and a lot of the events are hybrid, so you can go in person, you can also join online. If you go in person though, you have to sign up for each event on Eventbrite instead of just clicking the add this event. But most of the workshops and the panels that I looked at were hybrid, so they also were in person.
Cool. Thomas, I really good with David. Like, David, you're sitting right next to us.
So starting today and tomorrow is also the Colorado Venture Summit. So that's a little bit more for mature, further along companies. If you're an executive, tech or life sciences skill. So it's a little late to join it this year, but next year, if you started a company and you're looking for funding or you want to talk to other, very experienced entrepreneurs or VCs, it's probably one of the best individual venture summits really in the country. So definitely keep it on your radar for next year. It's always about this time. And it's over at Tom's Watch Bar, so it's a great time. Definitely keep it on your radar for next year.
Awesome. Yes. Great. Just to let you guys know, when the meeting is here, doing free headshots. Brandon is going to hang out, so if you want to update your LinkedIn photo, he's happy to do that for you as well. So join us next week, October 6th. We are on the Denver Startup Week schedule, so looking for a cool crowd. We'll be here at 9 a.m. to do presentations. Do you know we have one presenter? If you know someone else that might want to present for Denver Startup Week, please let us know. You want to present next week?
Yeah.
Let's talk about it. All right. Just quick shout outs. Word of mouth is how we grow. So please let other people know about 1 Million Cups. Send them to our website, 1millioncups.com/Denver. Also on social media. We post every week where who's presenting. So if you want to share that into your network, that'd be great as well. Quick reminder, you guys are awesome. Keep on being awesome. Have an awesome week. And lastly, what do dentists call their x-rays? What do dentists call their x-rays? Toothpicks. Pete laughed. Good, good. That's the standard. Make like a pizza laugh. Right. You're welcome. So just closing up, hang out for at least like 10:30. If you guys want to stay for the day and co-work, just go ahead and check these upstairs at the front desk. There's more swag and cups on the table, more coffee as well. We'll put some music on. If you want to get some free hat chats, we're going to do that. And that's all I have. So thanks for coming out. Round of applause for everyone.
Bye. Thank you so much.
Bye.